What's going on, everybody? Karate Kid Fanatics back here again. Today we're here with Jake Huang, Sensei, Hyan-Woo, I hope that's pronounced right, from Cobra Kai Season 5. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so, before we get into, Cobra Kai, when did you initially get into, like, the stunt slash, like, martial arts business?
I've done martial arts pretty much my whole life since about 3 years old is when I started. And then as far as doing stunts, I've been doing it for about 15 years now. And yeah, I haven't stopped. It's been a fun ride.
I guess when Chosen asked you how long you've been training, I guess your whole life is actually true.
Yeah, I think he was exactly asking how long I was training with Kim Da-eun, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
exactly.
yeah, so when did you get how did you apply for Cobra Kai and how did you get involved in the project?
So one of my really close friends, his name is Don Lee. He's the fight coordinator and was also stunt coordinator and second unit director on the final fight with Billy, or Johnny Lawrence, in the show. And he brought me in. I was in season four, and we've done about like 15, 20 projects together. So everything from like Transformers to Star Trek and a whole bunch of other projects and stuff. So it's been a good time with him, but we have a good relationship and work really well together. And so he brought me onto the project when he got the fight coordinating gig in season four, and then season five he ended up coordinating and second year directing. So yeah.
Yeah, so I assume you had to dye your hair blonde for the role.
Yeah, they it was really kind of an interesting situation. They
Yeah,
initially actually had someone else for the job, and then that fell through. And then yeah, so then they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, we got this crazy idea. We want you to go blonde because they said I look too
yeah,
nice when I have my long hair." So
yeah,
they were trying to figure a way to spice me up a little bit, and they pitched me out there to the producers, and they loved it. So there we were.
yeah. So our first look at you, it's you getting off the plane. Like, where did they shoot that at? Was it like actual airport, a hangar? Where did you guys shoot that at?
Yeah, it was a private airport. We were the show was shot in Georgia, so we were at a private airport in Georgia. I don't know the exact location, but yeah, that's exactly where we were. Real airplane and everything.
Yeah. Were you like familiar with the show before booking the role?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously knew the show existed. It was kind of a huge show, but to
Right.
be perfectly honest, I don't get much time to watch a terrible amount of
Yeah.
TV. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to catch myself up with the show as the season went, for season four, and then by season five I was caught up already. So it was yeah, it was good.
Yeah. What was it like, getting to work with Thomas Ian Griffith, Tyron Woodley, and some of these other actors you got the pleasure to work with?
Yeah, I mean they're all great, man. There was not a bad soul on that set. Everyone was pretty amazing. Yeah, Thomas, he is phenomenal, pro at everything and just great personality, great to work with, always happy, smile on his face no matter what. Down for anything, and he's extremely talented as an actor and a martial artist, and through the show I actually found out he was a professional singer as well, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then everyone else, between like Billy and Ralph and you know the whole cast, just phenomenal.
Yeah. So our first, I mean, we see you first, obviously, at the hangar, but then we see, Johnny and Chosen coming and challenge. What was it like getting to film that? That was actually one of my favorite fights from the season. What was it like filming that?
That was a pretty heavy day for me. It was pretty much
Yeah.
because, like I will say that Billy and Yuji especially, I mean, he's a huge workhorse. When we had rehearsals, Yuji would show up early, rehearse by himself and then hop into our rehearsal for a few hours and then hop out and do his own thing and rehearse on his own some more for another hour and then go home. So, and then Billy too. Billy came in and gave it his all no matter what. So, we were training pretty hard for that sequence, but that day was pretty much me the whole time because I don't have a double.
Right.
So that where you would shoot from the back, sometimes you would end up with a double on actors. So in my
Right.
situation, it didn't end up like that. So it just, it's double the amount. It was a long day. But I mean, again, everyone's so awesome and such a pleasure to work
Right.
with. You don't even feel it. So yeah.
That was just epic. Like at the end, like when you have all the sensei lined up and like in Kim's eyes, the look she had, and then, Chosen makes the reference back to the old movie. That was just epic scene altogether.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. When we read that scene, we all were kind of like, "Oh, this is gonna be nuts."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like getting to be in that one set of the Cobra Kai? That one, like, that thing just looks so nice. Like just the colors and everything.
Which set are we talking about?
The not the
Oh,
one
the
where you
actual
had your
dojo?
yeah, not the one where not the location where you had your fight, but the other one.
The Cobra Kai dojo, like the new and updated, improved Cobra Kai dojo?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That
Oh
one.
yeah, that was a pretty slick set actually. So from season 4 to season 5, they actually use the same location for the set. So I think they were able to reuse some portions. I actually don't know how much of that they were able to, but it was in the exact same location as the original set, and that was the original Cobra Kai Dojo location. They updated it, modified it, and made it pretty phenomenal. It was, yeah, super sleek and pretty, and had that big
Yeah.
picture of Terry Silver on the wall on
Oh
the
yeah.
glass and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So no, that was definitely a pleasure to work there.
Did you get a chance to watch season 5 yet?
I haven't seen the whole season to be perfectly honest. But
Yeah.
I did skim through the fights. Especially when I was doing the my ADR sessions and stuff, I was able to watch at least my chosen fight, my chosen Billy fight, and you know, some of the other fights as well. So
I do got to ask you from the parts you have seen of the show, like for you as a fan personally, are you Team Miyagi-Do, Team Cobra Kai, or Team Eagle Fang?
um, it's tough to say. I will say it's probably more fun to play Cobra Kai.
Right, right.
But Miyagi is a little bit more traditional, and I do really enjoy the traditional martial arts aspect. And like I mentioned, Don Lee, the fight coordinator, and also stunt coordinator and second year director on the last episode, he's got a very strong traditional karate background, so he was able to bring in a lot of that aspect. So I don't know if you noticed, but like in season 4 and 5, like all the Miyagi Do stuff became really just super legit and just
Right.
all deeply ingrained in traditional Japanese martial arts. And that was something that we tried to bring. He brought into this season that was, in my opinion, made Miyagi Do more fun and interesting to watch because you have uh, a lot of the martial aspect, the practical, they call it bunkai usage of the forms that everyone is using, and stuff we see all the time. We just never get to see it in action. But like the Chosen Sensei fight where he fights six senseis.
Right.
Yuji, he has this moment where he's doing like super traditional blocks and stuff, and it breaks apart the fight and it really separates it, and it changes the dynamic. I feel like so. As far as
Absolutely.
which side who I would pick, it's kind of hard to say. They're all
Yeah.
pretty awesome in their own way.
Yeah. So yeah, you didn't obviously have a fight scene in this team. What was it like filming the in inter school tournament? I guess you would call between Miyagi Do, Eagle Fang, and Cobra Kai.
No, between when they were all fighting each other, yeah. That was fun to watch. I mean, I had a
Yeah.
great time,
Yeah.
like Peyton, Mary, Devin, they were all, I mean, and Alicia, they were all really dedicated, like they all put in the work and they came in and just full on trained their butts off. skill wise, they they brought it, and they put in the heart
Absolutely.
and the effort. So it was great to watch them, you know, watch them really just like grow through the season. Last season as well, they were all pumped to get in there this season because last season they saw how much they improved already, and they were like, yeah, let's get in train and get it done. All of them really really got it done this season.
Now getting into definitely the best episode and the best fight scene. What was it like? Like when you found out you were going to be having this epic brawl at the very end.
Where Billy came and beat us all up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that oh man, I actually didn't get that script until way later, and then until we were actually getting into rehearsals for it, and then Don broke down the fight about it and kind of what it was about. And I mean, we were all kind of floored right there. We were like, this is long time coming and definitely going to be awesome. So
yeah.
and then once we saw the set, man, that set was phenomenal. It was pretty epic. What they did is the room that we did that fight in was actually built as a match to an actual house that we were filming in. So the beginning portion of those sequences, I think it's all the same episode where Chosen and Sean Barnes and Johnny, they come in and they kind of bust in
Yeah.
after partying. That is an actual practical mansion. And then there was a theater room in there that was replicated as a set later on when we did the fight, because we obviously can't destroy someone's house like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they were, that was an epic fight, and like I said, I mean, I can't keep bringing it back. I keep bringing it back, but Don, like he second year directed that fight, so that was, I mean, it went smooth. It could have been nuts, but it went smooth. We had good rehearsal time. Again, Billy just brought it. He came in and just he trained his butt off for that. It was pretty great.
Yeah, y'all gang up and get the best. Then that baby picture falls out, and it just what was it like? Filming right through that. Like I guess that's like a sword display. How like what was it like, and how did you guys film that?
Yeah, he actually threw me through the sword display.
Yeah.
And that was so how that was filmed. I was actually going to post a behind the scenes video later on my Instagram, but it essentially we did everything leading up to it, and then that moment hit that he was supposed to throw me. So what we had was a mini tramp. It's a small trampoline that's a little mobile. And we placed it out right next to him, and I just ran, jumped, and he grabbed a hold of me while I was airborne, and he followed through with the motion, and I just sent it into the display, and just gravity took over.
And then your last scene, like I thought you were out honestly, and then like you you recover, and then y'all gang up on Johnny, and you pull out the sword ready to finish him. And then shit, Mike Barnes comes out of nowhere and takes y'all out. What was it like, filming that scene?
Yeah, that was interesting because I'm not terribly used to a camera being right up on my face like that, and me being the only
Yeah.
one in the shot. So, but it's all part of it. And yeah, I was stoked, and everyone was super supportive. And I think it all came out really well.
Yeah. So for you overall, with Cobra Kai, what was your overall favorite part of the filming experience?
Um, I guess I have to say working with the team, man. I can't stress it enough. The team was amazing. The between the stunt team and the actual and the cast and everybody, like, I mean, extras, background, I mean, high fives to all of them because everyone was phenomenal. Like, I think really structure comes from the top down, and um, you had John, Josh, and Hayden on top, who are the producers of the show. And just from there, their good attitude and always kind of coming on set and being there and showing their support for everyone. I think that just trickled down through the ranks. And Ken Bearfield and Don Lee, they were our in the stunt department. They were the heads of our stunt department. They kept it nice, light, and fun, and everyone had a great time. The actors, they all came in, and everyone was just having a blast the whole time. So my favorite part of the whole season and the filming experience was kind of just hanging with everybody and just being around. It was always kind of just like vacation while we're there. And
Absolutely.
then when the cameras were rolling, we did our job, and then they cut, and we were all laughing together and having a good time again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
for you as a martial artist, what are some of your favorite martial arts movies for you personally?
I was a big Jackie and Jet Li fan growing up. Those are kind of my two icons. And mainly, I would have to say mainly Jackie. I loved his theatrics and his style and the flavor he brought to the film industry. And I will say, he definitely changed martial arts films. Like Bruce Lee brought one aspect of martial arts, he brought the actual martial arts aspect into kind of Western filming, and then Jackie changed it up and made it a theatrical experience where it turned into a movie at that point that we were with characters that you can really attach to and care about and stuff. And he's just so darn likable all the time. And I
Right.
think that to me really just struck me that the theatrics of it and um, the film aspect of it. And as through my stunt career, I've fallen in love with film kind of on a whole nother level, and I've been able to appreciate a lot of things, a lot of films from back in the day a lot more now. So yeah, so I'd have to say those are kind of my icons growing up.
Yeah, speaking more on, martial arts shows, you actually appeared several times on a show I watched growing up, Kicking It. What was it like, getting to work on? Yeah, like several different. I need to go back and watch those episodes, but like I just was looking at your crowd, like, dang man, I loved that show growing up.
Yeah, Kicking It was a really fun one to work on. I really enjoyed that. Again, that was another good cast and crew. Most of the kids shows generally will have a great cast and crew, you know. Yeah, I used to work on a show called Super Ninjas a whole lot as well. And just they're really fun. You get to do some crazy, weird, fun things that you never ever would get called to do
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah.
I think I'm Kicking It. I was a clown at one point who just gets, knocked flat on my back, and there's a Halloween fight or something like that,
I
and
remember that episode. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like
yeah, and
Boogie Nights or something.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
and then we had one that was like camping or something. I don't know. There's a lot of just random things that we've gotten to do just because the kids shows they're so wacky and crazy. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was a pretty awesome one to work on.
Yeah, there's always been a bunch of speculation Leo Howard for that show being on Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I think he'd be great for the role because Leo is actually a pretty great martial artist on his own. But I don't know that whole thing right there.
Right.
I haven't even heard of the speculation of it, but I guess it makes sense, now that you
Yeah,
mention it.
yeah.
Um, you know, yeah, but Leo's great as well, good kid, really, really just solid dude.
Yeah, for you as a stuntman, what's the craziest stunt you've had to perform?
Um, let's see. As far as crazy goes, like I've done some stuff that's pretty that looks dangerous, but in the stunt world we try to bring it down to a science as much as possible. Obviously, when you launch a car, in the air, there's only so much science that'll, dictate what's going to happen.
Right.
But as much as we can, we try to keep it down to a science. So like for example, I've done things like jump from one building to another, but then we got a wire that keeps us safe. And you have professionals that are running the wire that are stunt professionals who study and train how to maneuver people in the air using wires. But, like for example, on Transformers, I always kind of think about this one because I have this photo of me and a few others. Actually, this one guy, Steve Brown, he was the guy with the eye patch in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show. We were working on Transformers together. Actually, Don Lee is the one who brought me on Transformers, the same guy who came into
That's
to
cool.
do
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, so we were doing this one scene where we were just running across this field, and it's so simple. They say go from this side and end up on that side, and things are going to happen around you. That to me is one of the most dangerous stunts I've ever done in my mind because a um the Michael Bay likes practical explosions, and
Right.
anytime you have a practical explosion, you're trusting that it's not going to be too much and it's going to go in the right direction. And in that scene specifically, when we were running across the field, they had something called they called it like a car popper or car launcher or something, and
Right.
it was basically a pneumatic machine that would launch the car in the air, and then they wrapped the car a bunch of times with steel cable, and they put explosives
Right.
inside of the car. So what we were doing is we were running across the field while this car was being launched in the air and then pulled by the steel cable, and then explosion and then exploding simultaneously. So that was right above us while we were
Right.
running,
Yeah.
while there's
Jesus
explosions
Christ.
going off. And so, and like things happen, and the thing with that is um I don't the special effects guys are always generally top notch on those kind of films, but things happen because you're
Oh yeah.
using inanimate objects, and there's not as much red tape around inanimate objects as there are around humans. So when you launch a human in the air and pull them by a wire, there's a lot of red tape around that. But when you launch a car in the air and pull it by a wire, not as much red tape around that. So wires break, explosions are bigger than they're supposed to be, things
Right. Right.
fall, and looking back on that picture, I'm like, that car could have just landed on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So long story short, to me, that would probably be one of the more dangerous things I've done. I worked on another show called Hollywood Adventures where I had to jump from. We were driving across, or driving next to kind of like um, I mean, they call it the LA River, but it's not really a river because in LA
Right.
there's
Right.
no rain. But it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
just a drain. Yeah, it's a massive drainage
Yeah.
ditch with about 20-foot wall. We were driving on a we're doing during that movie. We were driving a convertible Mustang, and then I was driving, and then I had to switch with the passenger while we were driving along the side of that kind of ravine, and then I had to get on the edge of the car and jump off while we were going about like 15, 20 miles an hour, and then there was
Right.
a catcher. A, they had built a bunch of boxes under that were supposed to catch me, but obviously that's a in a moving car,
Yeah.
covering
It's not the
distance,
easiest thing to do. Yeah.
yeah, that one was a little interesting too. But I mean, even then I felt safe. I trusted my team. Actually, I think Don Lee was on that film as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's why we work so well together. It's just we've built so much trust over the years and things. So like even things that sound crazy and are definitely crazy by all rights of it don't seem as crazy because we kind of we check all the boxes and make sure we're trying to be safe and stuff. So, um, but yeah, I don't know if that answers your question
Yeah.
correctly,
Oh
but
yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So, what is your favorite project you've got to work on?
mm, let's see. Cobra Kai is definitely up there. That was definitely like I said, just fun all around. I just got done coordinating a film. I stunt coordinated the Weird Al movie. I don't know if you know anything about that, but
Okay.
that one, yeah, that one was a great time to work on. That was yet again just top down. All the producers and everybody was just wonderful to work with. Al, he's phenomenal, just like the sweetest dude in the world, and amazing head on his shoulder, super humble guy. Dan Radcliffe, phenomenal actor, just grade A, just he's another workhorse that I cannot get enough of. He's happy, awesome, great to be around, just super dedicated, and the nicest dude. Like I think he at the end of the show he was done, so he had like a couple days off where he could have just gone and done
Right.
his own
Yeah.
thing in LA. But what he did is he spent those days signing things for kids and
That's
peoples and
awesome.
relatives for the whole crew, and just I think he did something like 400 signatures on
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
personal notes too for everybody as
That's
well.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, just a phenomenal guy, so that one, I have to say that one was definitely a really fun one of my favorite projects to work on. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's been quite a lot. I mean, Ninja Turtles was kind of one of my childhood favorite things growing up. So that
Yeah.
was kind of surreal to be working on. I got to play Splinter for a fight, and I got to play Donatello for a fight. So those were both really, really great things to work on. Um, yeah, yeah, I think those were my top, I have to say.
Yeah,
Oh,
just a
and
couple.
Avatar. I forgot about that,
Yeah.
Avatar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Last Airbender. Or not Last Airbender, Legend of Korra.
Okay.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon show. I was able to do the martial arts coordination for Avatar. Yeah, and that was a great one to work on too. Again, great team, great everything, and not to mention, I was already kind of a huge fan of it, and we were kind of reinventing the Avatar world at that point. And that was a cool one to do. Made a lot of really good friends from that show. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple more questions, but this is one I like to ask. For you, as a stuntman actor, what is a dream role or a goal you have in the upcoming years?
Um, let's see. I think that I mean one day I'd love to direct. I started writing recently, so that's been a kind of a side passion of mine. Um, and yeah, so I think one day just, write and direct my own movie. That would be
Absolutely.
pretty phenomenal. Yeah. You know, I've gotten a little bit more into animation. I've worked in games a lot as well, and so my most current job is on a game series, a pretty popular one that I'm not able to say.
Right.
But it's yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. And then just working with those guys, hopefully I can, you know, build that connection to maybe do an animated movie one day. That would be really
Absolutely.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so final question. Is there any funny behind the scenes stories or anything that went on the Cobra Kai set that you can remember?
Let's see. I mean, nothing to note necessarily. A lot, to be honest, a lot of funny things
Yeah.
happened every day, and
Yeah.
everyone was just so goofy and fun to be around. So I can't pinpoint one single one. But not to mention that we film like 8 episodes, 8 hour long episodes in about 2 months, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
unreal because just the quality and the amount of work that goes into every episode is yeah, it's a lot. So it's all kind of a blur to be honest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But
But
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for coming on. It's great. You did a great job in season 5, and it's just great to be able to speak with you today.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And if anyone needs what's your social media for anyone that wants to follow you?
Oh yeah, my Instagram is Action Jake. And I don't really use any other social media, and I kind of keep my Facebook private. So yeah, Action Jake on
Absolutely.
Instagram.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.